YouTube, my name is Mesa Sean, and we are back here on Anthem. Alright folks, I finally can reveal some new Anthem gameplay that I got to record myself over in Stockholm, Sweden. Big thanks to EA Game Changers for bringing me out to get some hands-on time with Anthem, record it, and bring it to you guys. If you enjoy my content, please hit that like button, and if you want more Anthem content, make sure to hit subscribe. Let's get into today's video. In this video, I'm going to do a quick overview. We are going to go over the Interceptor Javelin suit, we are going to go over the Storm Javelin suit, and then I will finish the video off with some overall impressions of this build. This build might not be the final version that you will play when the game launches. The gameplay is of an early story mission called The Lost Arcanist. Now, I do not want to just roll out the full gameplay in its entirety. I want to stick to the fun stuff. That's going to be the shooting, the ability use, the ultimate use, the flying, the hovering, the verticality, because all of that is what makes this game so much fun. Some of the footage that you're seeing is from myself, but also My Name is Bife. He and I shared some footage together of both the Interceptor and also the Storm. I will link his channel in the description. Before we get into the Interceptor breakdown of this particular build, let's talk about the HUD. I found the HUD fairly easy to get used to. Now, the top left-hand side of the corner, you see your shield bar, which is in blue, and your health, which is in green. As you're killing enemies, they will drop little health and shield things, and depending on your Javelin suit, you can pick those up and replenish your health and also your shields. The top middle section of the screen provides you with a number of things. One is going to be your bearings. Where are you? North, south, east, or west. That'll make a little more sense when you see the actual world map. I cannot show you that in this particular recording. It also is useful for showing you where to fly to for the next objective, and then once you come into proximity of enemies, they will all light up as little red dots. This way you could figure out, are they in front of me, are they behind me, to the left, to the right, and so forth. On the bottom right hand side of the screen, you see on the top the weapon you have equipped and out ready to use right now. After level 4, I believe, you can equip 2 different weapons, and it will show you the ammo count also. Also, right below it, you see 2 abilities, and when it's fully orange, that means it's charged. On the far right, you see your melee ability, and when it's orange, that means it's charged. On the bottom, that is your ultimate bar. We'll talk about that a little bit because each Javelin has its own ultimate that you will use to destroy enemies. Let's get into the Interceptor. The Interceptor was a ton of fun. I look at the Interceptor as that type of Javelin suit that's all about speed and aggression, getting in and getting out. They're not the tankiest. The Colossus, which we will cover in a different video, the Colossus, that's the tanky one. This thing can take too much damage if you get mobbed by adds. But this thing is all about getting in, doing some damage, weakening enemies, and also getting out. You are very, very fast, and you have a ton of different dodging abilities. In this particular build, on my Interceptor, I was using the Acid Bomb and the Plasma Star. When looking at the charged abilities on the bottom right-hand side, I have 1 Acid Bomb, and I have 4 Plasma Stars. Now, the Acid Bomb does damage over time. You throw it at the enemy. I throw one here at the wall by accident, but it does recharge very quickly. And you'll see right here, I'm going to throw another Acid Bomb, and then when it splashes, because it explodes, the other enemies near it start taking some damage over time. The Plasma Stars that I'm using, they're ninja stars in a nutshell that you throw, and they do some pretty good damage, and they're good at long range. In watching the gameplay, hopefully you've noticed by now, the abilities charge really fast, and depending on what type of loot and the rarity, they'll charge even faster and do more damage. That's the crux of this game. It's not just about using your weapons to kill things, it's about using your weapons, it's about using your abilities constantly, and there's also what's called priming. You'll use some of your abilities to prime an enemy, and then either one of your teammates or someone that's in your squad or even yourself will do a combo move. So like you'll prime them with maybe your Acid Bomb, then someone else will hit them with a Lightning Strike, and then you will get a combo effect. Here is the ultimate ability for the Interceptor. When you fill your ultimate bar up on the bottom, then you activate it, and you basically become invincible and you slice and dice everything in your path. Now here I am just clearing a bunch of adds, But in other activities that I cannot show or talk about just yet, you want to subscribe if you want to see more, it's really, really good for not only ads, but also for high-level enemies. Lastly, showing you on the Interceptor how agile you are. One, you're really fast, and two, if you're pressing X and circle on a PlayStation controller, which is what, well, actually, I was using a SCUF controller, and I'll give you a plug right now. If you have a SCUF controller, you will love this game, because for the dodging, the flying, and the ability spam, man, those paddles come in really handy. But when using X and circle, you can constantly do these different dodges, whether you're in the air or on the ground. Now let's move into the Storm. Now the Storm is not something like the Interceptor where you want to get close. You are a little more tanky, but you're more kind of like magical. You're calling in lightning strikes. You're freezing enemies. You're doing a number of abilities that are related to elements from a little bit of a distance. Now you can see here, combo strike right there. So the two abilities that I'm using on this particular build are the Lightning Strike and the Hoarfrost Shards. Now the shards are going to freeze the enemy. So what I found myself doing constantly was, well, freezing the enemies and then calling a lightning strike down on them to do a combo effect. Or I could just freeze them and then also shoot them with my weapon. Now, just like the other Javelin suits on the bottom right-hand corner, you can see all of your abilities charging, and they charge really quickly. Goes back to my point before, where it's about not only just using your weapons, it's about using your abilities. The ultimate ability for the Storm is going to be what's called the Elemental Storm. When you call this in, you have 3 different areas that you can strategically place an explosion. One is going to be fire, one is going to be electricity, and one is going to be frost. And again, it goes back to my point before where it's about combos. Whether you're playing with friends or you're matchmade with other folks, this game does have matchmaking, and it also has dedicated servers. You will have other teammates that will be priming enemies. Wait and see that they're primed by another Javelin, call in your Elemental Storm, and you're just going to destroy enemies. It is worth noting that I did set the difficulty to normal when getting this gameplay. I actually wanted to get some decent gameplay. There are different difficulties. There's easy, normal, hard, and then there's a few more that are much more difficult. The reason why that you might want to set them to the higher difficulties as you increase in your power is because of the loot. If you want to know how loot works in the game, I will link an annotated video on screen. If you play on the hardest difficulties, you have a chance at getting what's called Legendary and Masterwork gear. That's the best gear in the game. As I was playing through different activities in the game, which I can't talk about or show you, I was getting tons of different pieces of loot. I was able to equip them, and at a later date, I might be able to just show you them. But back to the Storm. So overall, the Storm was a ton of fun, and I just completed a challenge. I can't really talk about, and I don't actually know too much about challenges, but there's going to be a number of different challenges or triumphs or something in the game that you want to complete when you go into certain story missions, strongholds, and so forth. The Storm is a ton of fun, and in fact, all the Javelins, I cannot say one is better than the other. I got to play and record all 4 Javelins, but for this particular video, we're just sticking to the Storm and the Interceptor. But all the Javelins in general, they all have either a high damage role or a supportive role, so it's really depending on your play style on which one you want to choose. Time to leave you with some final thoughts, and I will let the end of the mission roll out. However, I do have to cut the end screen out where they show all the loot drops and so forth. But guys, this game is a ton of fun. I got hooked on this game a long time ago when I got to play it at a certain event that I can't talk about. And no, I'm not talking about E3 from last year. Well, one, it's a looter shooter. I like anything that's a looter shooter. But more importantly, it's the movement, the flying, the verticality, the abilities, the weapons. Everything is seamless in this game. And that speaks volumes coming from someone like me. I always make the silly joke, I have the attention span of an angry mosquito. When it comes to third-person games, historically, not a big fan of them. The only games that I really enjoyed that were third-person was Horizon Zero Dawn and The Division. After each play session, well, I just wanted to play more, for a number of reasons. One, it was a ton of fun. 2, I was progressing. I really like the progression system in this game. I will link a video in the description that I did on progression and loot in this game. And the loot, yeah. Getting loot after a mission, then inspecting it, seeing if I got anything good. If I didn't, I would just trash it and then I could craft something that I would like. Or if it was something really good, I couldn't wait to put it on my character and then go back out into either free play or a mission and test out that piece of loot, whether it was a weapon or something to add to my abilities. That is going to do it for this video, guys. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see some more Anthem content. Leave me a good old hashtag made it to the end if you did make it to the end. And that's it. Do me a favor. Drop a like in this video only if you see fit. Follow me on Twitter at Mesa Sean. Check out my stream, usually and always on YouTube, and that is it. I am out of here like Vladimir, and here is the rest of the mission.
Keep him off you.
Much appreciated.
Where are they all coming from?
Scars have too many ways to add to their numbers if needed.
You make them so mad, Matthias.
I don't know. Never seen them like this.
Be careful.
I'm trying.
We got some Scar heavies. Could use some help. Look out! It is, it looks dangerous.
Rust Reaver. The thing's name is Rust Reaver.
I don't care what its name is. That thing just isn't dying. What the hell?
The Scar is down. Let's clean up the rest of them now, shall we? Scar's out of the way. Someone check on Matthias. I think we're done. Everyone's safe.
These Scars. I don't know what to think. Arcanist and Scars often clash over Shaper sites, but nothing like this. I must tell Tassin. Please. I need to return to Fort Tarsus.